Hi again, everyone. I am sitting down here with Jesse Shumaker. He is the director of our Nebraska chapter of The Cure Starts Now. So welcome, Jesse. Thanks for talking to me today.
Yeah, thanks, Jackie.
So, your daughter, Maddie, she battled DIPG a couple years ago. Can you just tell us about her? I want to hear about her. What did she like? What did she enjoy? Just tell us her story.
Yeah, she was full of energy. So she was 7 when she was diagnosed in 2015, and she was really active right even through the beginnings of the disease. She was actually out skiing just like the night before. She went into the doctor and got the surprise diagnosis. We didn't get necessarily all the typical symptoms, and so still had her balance and those sorts of things. But she was a animal lover. She really loved all kinds of animals, and I think animals can generally sense that and like to write back. And she had so she's our only child, and she was really close with a lot of her friends at school. It's pretty close-knit group at that school, which, through everything, all our friends and, the whole school, they were just really supportive all the way around. I mean, we really could not have asked for more support. Just a little story on that. So we went to St. Jude for treatment for a while to be in a trial. Had a very good experience there in terms of, just very well taken care of. And obviously they're familiar with dealing with serious things like DIPG. But at the time, Maddie had started playing a game called Animal Jam, and it's where they can, like, they are like an animal or whatever in this kind of adventure thing. They go explore through there, and it's an online game. And so a few of her friends had started playing that before we went down there. But then, like, her whole grade, like, everyone started doing it just like so they could spend time with Maddie. And so she'd be playing on the computer or tablet or whatever, but then she'd have like a phone or a tablet, like with the faces of her friends, so they'd be FaceTiming at the same time. So that was pretty neat that they were able to, keep in touch while we were down there for, I think it was 7 weeks initially. So Maddie would draw all the time. And since she loved animals, she would draw like stories about her stuffed animals and pictures of her stuffed animals. And then we had actually met, I think his name is Michael Healy, or it's Michael from Books That Heal. And he helps children like write a story, children who are going through a serious illness. And we met with him, but it was right before the progression started on the tumor. And so we talked ideas with him, but were unable to pursue them because her disease progressed very rapidly. But later on, my wife, Corey, she worked with Michael, and they made a story, really Maddie's story. Is called Becoming Maddie Panda. And it's all the illustrations are Maddie's pictures that she drew. So it's actually available on Amazon, and he's got a number of other books, that other kids put together with him. And so it's a nice way to remember Maddie.
Oh, that's beautiful. And that she, helped make
Right.
it. I mean, she was the illustrator for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so it's and yeah, she was talented and enjoyed that very much.
So she stayed connected. That's good. It sounds like you had a really good community support through all of this.
Yeah, and we both work for Union Pacific, my wife and I, and they were tremendous, really, everybody during that whole process. Where I used to work before UP, it's a place called DMSI, a software company. They were tremendous. They organized and supported, basically paid for a really fabulous birthday party for Maddie at the zoo in Memphis. And that's where she really kind of got into pandas. They have giant pandas there. And
Hence becoming Maddie Panda.
exactly, that's kind of where it started. And
Oh.
so that, and they've really continued to be a huge support. They're our major sponsor, presenting sponsor for our annual Race Against the Odds.
Yes. And so you have been a chapter for a while, and you have had some, really good events that have gone on, but Race Against the Odds is what you have mainly been doing, right, with your chapter?
That's right. That's kind of our, what we found to work well is to have a kind of a major annual event. And that's kind of where we channel our energy. We've got a really great venue locally, and the person we work with there, the organizer, is super helpful and always wants to make it a big success. And we've got quite a few volunteers that make it it's not like we have to start from scratch every year. Everyone's kind of got a part and trying to make that happen and go smoothly.
Wonderful. So you do that as a chapter for The Cure Starts Now. What initially drew you to us, to, how we do things?
Well, any family who gets this diagnosis for their child is I don't know, all your normal ways of handling anything up to this just don't necessarily work. It's just so devastating. And so I guess I think we kind of felt lost to some degree. I mean, you're and helpless in some ways as well. But we were fortunate to have some close friends of the family who helped kind of guide us in terms of, because you got to make decisions really fast right up front. And so I think going to St. Jude was definitely the right decision for us. And so we were introduced through a friend of a friend, another person, a parent whose son went through cancer, different type of cancer, but was doing better now. But I was just blown away by how knowledgeable this parent was. And she introduced me to some other people and who, researchers and other parents that were knowledgeable. And then I had a friend who was going to getting a PhD at the time. So I was able to get access to download research papers and so forth. And I found that the researchers in DIPG were so approachable. It was just amazing, right? I mean, you could reach out and talk with researchers directly. They're getting funded, a lot of their funding from philanthropy. And I went to the symposium, the DIPG symposium organized by the collaborative, and obviously the Cure Starts Now has a leading role in that. And I met all these families that helped make this happen. Like, I mean, I was looking at the research, and talking to the researchers, and I was seeing where they were getting their funding from, and a lot of it was from the Cure Starts Now. And so, and I was really impressed with the collaboration among the researchers and among the fundraisers, the foundations and the Cure Starts Now. So, Maddie was diagnosed in January. She passed in December. And, we wanted to do something to make a difference. And for us, like starting a new foundation, all the overhead that involves and whatnot, that didn't seem like the right move for us. It seemed like there's a good thing going with the Cure Starts Now. So if we could help contribute to that and enlist our supporters in that as well, that seemed like a good fit. So then I went to the first chapter meeting following that in 2016 and met a lot of the other chapters there. Obviously, from 2015 then to 2016, completely different perspective, right after Maddie passed. And then I went to the symposium in 2017. And then, we were 1 year further and seeing other families, who had just kind of gone through that same progression we did. It's just in 3 years time, it was a completely different perspective on each of those occasions when I got together with all those families. But it amazes me to see what everyone else has done, and
Mhm.
to be working together in that way.
And to see the progress,
Right.
live, so to speak, from year to year. So,
Yeah,
um,
actually,
so
I was just part of a grant presentation yesterday, and it was really encouraging. Um, so for a while, I guess I had part of my way of dealing with all this was, especially when Manny was in the fight, was to just learn absolutely everything I could about the research
Mhm.
process, and knowing that we gave Maddie the absolute best chance that we could. Now I have been kind of out of that for a little while, and to hear at the grant presentation about what was going on and some of the immunotherapy approaches that they're pursuing right now, I mean, that's very encouraging. I was very excited about that.
Mhm. And it's wonderful to see. I mean, you have a hand in that as a chapter for The Cure Starts Now
Right,
to be able to fund this groundbreaking research. It's wonderful. So
right.
thank you so much, Jesse, for sharing your story, for sharing Maddie's story, and for all that you do for The Cure Starts Now. It really does make a difference. So I just want to encourage everyone out there to just please give first for families like the Shoemakers, because our children, they deserve more than leftovers. So thank you so much, Jesse.
Yep. Thanks, Jackie, and thanks to everybody who's hearing, listening to this, and to all the other families that are making a difference. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.